It is a quiet afternoon. The day is going perfectly. You are focused. You are at peace. And then, a piece of glass and metal vibrates on your desk. You look at the screen. It is an email from a disrespectful boss, a toxic text message from someone in your past, a passive-aggressive comment meant to cut you down. In a fraction of a second, your heartbeat spikes. Your chest tightens. The peace is gone, instantly replaced by a burning, violent surge of adrenaline. You spend the next 6 hours physically present, but mentally you are somewhere else entirely. You are in a courtroom in your own head. You are arguing with a ghost. You are constructing the perfect, devastating comeback. You go to bed that night exhausted, furious, convinced that this person ruined your day. But here is the brutal, unforgiving truth. They did not ruin your day. They did absolutely nothing. You took the keys to your own mind, handed them over to a fool, and allowed them to drive you into a wall. You pride yourself on your independence. You pay your own bills. You make your own decisions. You carry yourself like a sovereign man who answers to no one. But look closely at your reactions. The reality of your existence is deeply disturbing. If someone praises you, your ego inflates. You feel a sudden rush of euphoria. You feel validated. If someone insults you, your ego shatters. You descend into a dark, chaotic spiral of anger and self-doubt. You are completely at the mercy of the external world. You are a thermostat broken by the weather outside. We have a culture that normalizes this. We call it being sensitive. We call it having high self-esteem. We tell ourselves that defending our honor requires a loud, violent emotional reaction. We believe that if we do not fight back, we are weak. Look closer. The ancient philosophers had a very different word for this behavior. They called it slavery. Think about the actual mechanics of your anger. When someone provokes you and you lose your temper, you believe you are showing strength. You raise your voice. You type a furious response. You try to dominate the situation and put them in their place. But anger is never a display of power. Anger is the ultimate confession of weakness. It is a biological admission that someone else has completely bypassed your defenses. They have hijacked your nervous system. When you react with rage, you are doing exactly what the enemy wants. You are performing the exact script they wrote for you. They pull a string, and your arm moves. They pull another string, and your mouth opens. You are dancing on a stage designed by someone who does not even respect you. You are a puppet, and you are fiercely defending your right to remain on the strings. Be honest with yourself. How much of your daily energy is stolen by people who do not matter? How many hours of your finite, irreplaceable life are burned in the fires of petty resentment? You are acting as if you have 1,000 years to live. You do not. Every minute you spend agonizing over the disrespect of a fool is a minute stolen from your own empire. You are bleeding out on a battlefield, but there is no enemy in sight. The person who sent that message forgot about it 5 seconds after they hit send. They are sleeping soundly, and you are awake at 2 a.m, falling on your own sword. But it gets worse, because the people who provoke you usually know exactly what they are doing. Some people are black holes of misery. They have no inner peace. They are entirely hollow inside. So they must extract reactions from others just to feel a pulse. They use your anger to warm their own cold hands. When you give them your anger, you are feeding them. You are subsidizing their toxicity with your own life force. You are funding the exact behavior that is destroying your peace. Stop paying them. Stop being a reliable source of entertainment for the miserable. You think that by arguing with them, you can change their mind. You think that if you just craft the perfect logical argument, they will finally see your worth. This is a delusion. You cannot reason a person out of a position they did not reason themselves into. When you step into the mud to wrestle with a pig, 2 things happen. You get completely covered in filth, and the pig loves it. You are treating the opinions of strangers as if they are royal decrees. Why do you value the judgment of someone you do not even respect? If a madman on the street yelled an insult at you, you would not go home and cry about it. You would recognize that he is out of his mind, and you would keep walking. Yet when someone in a suit or someone behind a screen does the exact same thing, you allow it to penetrate your soul. The shift happens here. You must realize that you cannot control the tongues of other people. You cannot rid the world of disrespect, incompetence, malice, or stupidity. The world will always produce friction. The world will always throw rocks at the walls of your fortress. But 2,000 years ago, a man who understood the absolute depths of human bondage discovered the ultimate defensive weapon. His name was Epictetus. He was not a king. He was not a wealthy senator. He was born a slave. He was physically owned by another human being. He knew what it meant to be stripped of all external power. He knew what it meant to have his body chained, beaten, and commanded. If anyone had a legitimate reason to be consumed by bitter, blinding rage at the cruelty of the world, it was him. But Epictetus made a terrifying discovery. He realized that his master could break his leg, but his master could not touch his mind. He realized that true slavery is not the physical chain around your wrist. True slavery is allowing another human being to dictate your internal state. He wrote a truth that should absolutely shatter your modern ego. He said, "If someone handed your body over to a passing stranger, you would be furious. Yet you hand over your mind to anyone who insults you, allowing them to disturb your peace. Are you not ashamed?" Read that again. Are you not ashamed? You protect your physical property with locks, alarms, and violence. You would never let a thief walk into your house and steal your money, but you leave the front door of your mind wide open. You let absolute fools walk right in with muddy boots and steal your focus, your energy, and your peace. You must install a lock on the door, and the ancient world gave us the perfect key. We call it the Stoic Pause. You believe that when an event happens, your reaction is instantaneous and inevitable. You believe that the insult causes the anger. It does not. Between the stimulus, the words on the screen, the tone of their voice, and your emotional reaction, there is a space. In an untrained mind, that space is microscopic. You react blindly. The puppet string is pulled, and the arm moves. But in a sovereign mind, that space is an absolute fortress. You must understand the true mechanics of an insult. An insult is not a bullet. It cannot pierce your skin. An insult is simply a proposal. When someone disrespects you, they are holding out a poisoned cup. They are asking you a question. They are asking, "Will you drink this for me? Will you abandon your peace and join me in my misery?" You have the absolute, sovereign right to refuse the cup. If someone tries to hand you a piece of garbage and you refuse to take it, who is left holding the garbage? They are. The poison remains entirely in their hands. They have to swallow their own venom. When you react, you drink the poison. When you remain silent, you force them to drink it alone. This is the ancient art of indifference. Indifference is not numbness. Indifference is not cowardice. It is the highest form of psychological power you can wield against a toxic person. Toxic people thrive on conflict. They feed on your defense. When you argue, you legitimize their attack. You tell them that their opinion actually matters to you. You validate their existence by stepping into their arena. But absolute, stone-cold indifference? It destroys them. When they throw a rock at you and you do not even flinch, when they scream and you look at them with the calm, dead eyes of someone observing a child throwing a tantrum, it breaks their reality. It removes their power entirely. Silence is not a retreat. Silence is a weapon. It is the heaviest weapon in the arsenal of a king. You have been living your life as a puppet. You have been waiting for the world to treat you fairly so you can finally feel at peace. The world will never treat you fairly. The world is full of chaos, envy, insecurity, and noise. If you wait for the wind to stop blowing, you will wait forever. You cannot control the wind. You can only become the mountain. The mountain does not argue with the storm. The mountain does not yell back at the thunder. The mountain simply stands there, rooted in deep earth, obsidian and unmoving, until the storm exhausts itself and dies. And this is where everything changes. Now, pay attention. This is the part that matters. We are going to cut the strings. We are going to forge the mountain. Did someone intentionally insult you? Good. They just handed you a map of their own deepest insecurities. Your armor remains completely spotless. Did a coworker try to sabotage you in the shadows? Good. The snake just revealed its hiding place. Now you know exactly where to step. Did a toxic person try to drag you into a shouting match? Good. Step back. Let them suffocate in the absolute vacuum of your silence. This is the alchemy of a sovereign mind. You take the exact moments designed to make you weak, and you use them to forge iron discipline. You stop volunteering for the role of the victim. Imagine a tug of war. They are pulling on the rope with all their might. They are desperate for you to pull back. They need your resistance to justify their anger. They want to fight. Drop the rope. Watch them fall backward into the mud of their own making. You do not win the game by pulling harder. You win the game by walking off the field entirely. Your attention is the most valuable currency in the universe. It is finite. You only have a certain amount of it before you die. Stop handing your currency out to emotional beggars on the street. If someone does not respect you, their opinion is mathematically worthless. It has zero value in the actual economy of your life. Why are you bankrupting your peace to buy the approval of a fool? When you finally understand this, the chains shatter. You realize that no human being has the power to make you angry without your explicit permission. And from this day forward, your permission is permanently denied. You are no longer a puppet waiting for a hand to pull the strings. You are the man holding the scissors. You have cut the strings. So tonight, or tomorrow, when the screen of your phone lights up, when the notification arrives carrying the familiar poison of someone trying to steal your peace, you will look at the screen. You will feel the old familiar tug of your ego wanting to defend itself. You will feel the ghost of the puppet trying to dance. But you will not bite the hook. You will look at the words. You will recognize them as the frantic, powerless noise of a storm that cannot reach you. And you will place the phone face down on the desk. Let the storm rage. Let the thunder clap. Let the weak scream into the void, desperately begging for a reaction they will never get. You are the mountain. You are carved from obsidian, and stone does not flinch. Sleep well. The strings are cut. Walk alone, and walk like a king.